Alright guys, today I have a project that I'm going to be installing these new Battleborn batteries. They're, as some of you know, the Dragonfly company is the same as Battleborn. In some of the other RVs you will actually get Dragonfly batteries with the system. I have, we just got this 2022 Alliance Avenue 32 RLS, and it came with a solar system that we purchased from the factory, and it's a little bit of a mishmash of different things, which most component solar systems are. This has a 190 watt Go Power solar panel on the roof, and it has a Ames Power charge controller, which then goes to the batteries. The batteries in this unit are a lead acid battery. They have their own box and it's vented. We won't need to have that for these, as they're lithium-ion Battleborn batteries. We got two lithium-ion Battleborn batteries, 100 amp hour, and they are the heated batteries. Then we have a progressive dynamics inverter, and it has a little panel on the outside of that digital panel, which also has a panel on the inside of the camper as well that you can control in there. So on this Ames Power charge controller, what it tells you to do in the instructions is to hook up the battery first and then hook up the panels. Okay, so I did call Battleborn just to confirm that that was true. Because the initial setup, it wants to know the initial setup and where to put the power. So if you hook up the panels first, then it could mess up which way the power is going, from what I understand. So you actually want to hook up the batteries first and then the solar panels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unhook the wires from the solar panel on the back of the charge controller. Then I'm going to isolate those with some tape. Then what I'm going to do is go to the batteries and unhook the batteries and just install these new Battleborn batteries. It should be a fairly simple process. It's not real super complicated, and we're going to show you how that all goes. And now I'm just going to unbox these batteries. Okay, so here's the kit that comes with for the heated batteries, so that you can put a switch in to turn the heated batteries on and off. I am going to set that up as well. Alright, so here we go. These are the two batteries that I have, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this positive to this positive, this negative to this negative. I will come in one side on the positive end and go out the other side with the negative. So negative and positive over here once these two are hooked up. And I do have my cables right here. That's what we'll be doing, the positive to positive, negative to negative. Alright. Alright, time out everybody. While I was making this video, I realized that I was not able to do what I thought I was going to be able to do, was to unhook the wires from the back of the charge controller. They siliconed the wires going through the wall, and it made it extremely difficult to try to remove those wires. I actually did eventually have to do that because what happened was that charge controller in this video was basically junk. I ended up getting what they promised to us from the factory. They promised us a 320 watt panel, and what we ended up with was a 190 watt. And so the 320 is what's on there now, and we actually got a brand new charge controller, a really nice charge controller, and I can show you that as well. But what I ended up doing is covering up the panel with a bunch of blankets, so there was no power coming in. And then I unhooked everything, hooked all the batteries the back up, and then once everything was hooked up, then I removed the blankets from the solar panel, and then the charge controller at that time, the one that one was in there before, the one that came with the factory, it recognized it, and everything was a-okay. But like I said, we ended up replacing the charge controller and the main panel up there with a 320 watt. So it's really a pretty nice system right now. And Alliance did a really good job. They actually made it right. Ab was the one that told me I was going to get the 320, and he ended up making it right and giving us a brand new charge controller and panel. So, but anyway, this video is going to show you what we had at that time and how I ended up putting the batteries in. So all right, so I'm now in the battery compartment. I wanted to turn this around so you can see exactly what I ended up doing. So essentially what happens is the wires come in through the wall. They go right through here. There's 4 of them, 2 black and 2 red, that go into the where the charge controller is on the other side of the wall. I'll show you that in a second. Anyway, 2 of the wires actually come in from down here. They come in from down here, they come up through, and one of them is the red one from the panel, and one of them is the black one from the panel. These 2 right here from the panel, from the solar panel up top. This one, and then this one, of course, which has a little block, goes to the battery, okay? So I basically was very careful when I unhooked the batteries, and I was able to just isolate everything. It didn't cause any sparks or anything like that. Ended up hooking everything back up, and everything was okay. The charge controller recognized it, and then I uncovered the panel with the blankets that I had put on top of them. And let me show you what the new charge controller looks like. All right, so what we have here is this really nice Renogy charge controller, and it actually has a Bluetooth, so I can actually see it on my phone. And that replaced the Ames Power charge controller that we had before, but for the purposes of this video, that's what we had at the time, and that's what you'll see in the video. So as you can see here, where my fingers are right now, there's a big glob of silicone that they put in, and it went all the way through the wall to the charge controller, and made it extremely difficult to get the wires off the back of the charge controller, because basically they were stuck in. Like I said earlier, I did end up taking that off anyway, but for this project I ended up just leaving the wires there, and then covering the panel and taking the wires off the battery and keeping them all isolated. So yeah, that's what we ended up doing there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is put my safety glasses on. Hi there. And because inside these boxes there can be gases, so you don't want to set off any kind of gases or anything like that with a spark. It can actually cause an explosion. So I'm going to unhook all the negative cables first. That way when you're unhooking the positive, you don't touch the side or touch any kind of negative areas. And I'm going to isolate these cables so that they don't get anywhere near the positive. I don't like how close on this box all these negative cables are. So It's a little tricky to do this. Get these out of the way. Try to isolate all these over to this side. There's a lot of them. That's three cables. So that's all those. So now I can go ahead and unhook the positive. As long as I can stay away from this, I'm good. Lock that on there. All these cables here. Let's see what the inverter, let's see what the charge controller does. Just says there's an error. So I'm gonna hope and pray for the best on this. That we can just unhook this and then hook up all the positive cables later. With that being said, those there, there's 1, 2, 3 main ones, and of course my little wires for my extender for the low tire pressure warning systems right here. That's going to be hooked up as well. So now that I have all these separate, okay, now I have to figure out how to get this off here. So there's a Phillips here. I don't know if you can see this on this little pipe. There's a Phillips. Electric screwdriver. Alright, there's a screw in the back here. I know there's one back here. Now this should come off. You should see a bunch of cables. And yeah. I want to unhook these negative cables here first, so that I am not touching any of these. Alright. I'll hook this negative here. That doesn't matter if it touches the metal chassis. Nothing should be touching the metal chassis at this point, because it's not grounded to the chassis at all now. That one was over there. This one was over here. Yeah, negative to negative, positive, positive, okay. Probably could have used these cables over, but I could have easily have used these cables. But I got shorter ones, so that's alright. If I get this off, this box will come right out of the way now. It should. Yeah, I can unhook this one, and I can unhook this one now. See, even if I was to touch the side of this wall, it's not going to hurt anything because I have the negative cable off there. and so it's not grounded to the chassis. It's not going to spark or anything. So negative cable first, big time. All right, so we got that there, those red ones, all those red ones there, and this one, and then these three black. We gotta hook onto the black side, to the negative side. Okay. It should come right out of here. Interstate deep cycle clean batteries. Alright. Okay, now clean this up a little bit. Get Amy's vacuum cleaner out here and clean this up a bit, and then I can install the other batteries. Alright, so I'm a little unsure as to whether or not I'm going to use the box for anything. Put that box back on there. I really don't need it. I'd rather have the batteries showing, but I think I can just strap them together. I can put a strap maybe on these screws, strap them down. That's what I may have to do. Okay. Hopefully that one will fit right in the other side, but I don't know. It may not. Oh yeah, that fits perfect. However, I am gonna have to get some straps and strap it down. Doing a strap from here to over to here, and a strap from here to go over to here. I gotta figure out some strapping. Okay, let's get these hooked up, and then what I'll do is I'll figure out the whole strapping. So I don't think that's gonna be tall enough. Let's try it. Yeah, I don't think so. Nope. No, there's too much space. It's like 3/4 of an inch of space. I'm gonna hook up the negative side first. Of course the negative's on the other side. Of course the negative's over here. That's long enough. That's long enough. And this one should be long enough, yes. They're all long enough. Oh yeah. Ooh. This one is very, very close. But no cigar. So what have I got? What have I got for options? I can use this cable right here for that. Should not be a problem. It's overkill, but it will work. Holes the same size. And then this one here is plenty good. This one here is barely good. I don't know if you can see this, but the switch that comes with this kit, there's a switch for the heated battery kit. The switch isn't quite long enough, so I had to actually cut a hole through I put it on the this panel here that goes up into here, like that. But I had to cut the hole with a drill, and then I had to chisel around so that this little nut would go on here. I actually put the nut on backwards. You can see the teeth of the nut. It's supposed to be the other way, but it actually, so I didn't have to chisel as much. I actually was able to get it on and get it tight. I used a pair of needle nose pliers and just tightened it up. So that's a little solution there for that. If you're looking for a place to mount it, it'll be great because I can just coil up the wire and coil up the wire. It'll go up here, and yeah, that'll be good. So that's good for that. Now we gotta hook up these batteries, and I'll get some nuts, and we'll do that. All right, so let me push this over here, show you how this works. This actually has a jumper to go from one battery to the other. So you take the jumper and you take one of the screws out on this side. Take this screw out and put this jumper on here. And then this one from here. Okay, there's two long cables that come with the switch kit. Okay, you take the one on the very on the very end. It has the smaller of the two eyelets. Okay. Actually, it's this other one. This one here is going to be the smaller of the two. So that's going to go on the battery that's closest to the positive side of where you're drawing the positive from. So I'm getting the positive from over here and the negatives over there. So the positive, I want this on here like this. So I don't know if this screw's long enough. I thought they gave you extra long screws with the kit. I don't know if these screws are any longer. They don't seem to be. Well, we'll try this. Put that through there, and then that through there, and then that's going to go on there. A little breezy here, but I tell you what, it's really nice and cool for Florida. It's like a 66-degree day, so that's really nice. So this is going to go on, this one I just hooked up is going to go on one side of the switch, and then this other one is going to go on the terminal with all the other red connectors. So I do have to replace this wire. Let me get a wrench for that. Alright, so it's a little 10mm nut. We'll replace that wire because it's not long enough. Has this nice little, has its own nice little lock nut on there. Ooh, that may not work. That may not work. I need to have a small connector on this end, and that's not going to work. Let's do a few more inches. What to do? What to do? Let's see. All the same. How about if I had this one on here, down here? Would that reach? That would. It would reach. It's not ideal. No, it's not ideal at all. But it would do the trick. So I'll just switch switch those out. It's just a little lower, that's why. Just a little teeny bit lower. Alright. That can go there. And then this other one can go here. That'll solve that problem. I can always get another wire down the road here. Okay, there we go. Now we have enough length to get that on there. Barely, barely at best. I have my 2 wires. Not sure why I have all these. Okay. That I don't like either. I have to come in the other way. Most important cable. Alright, we can do that. Have a few wires to hook up, huh? Holy moly. Just a lot of wires. And I got the wire from my heated battery. I don't want to tangle these up. No, I'm Mr. Organized right now. I feel very unorganized. But it'll all look good in the end. Alright, so this is the other side of the switch. And that's going to go in the washer. They said on the other side of the washer. I don't know why. Alright, let's see what we got. We got 4 main red ones. Tire. Switch. Okay. We're good. We're going to come over here. Where's the nut? Alright. I'll fix up all these wires after. Okay, now we got positive, negative cable that has to go on. I'm gonna put a screw through here. Make a shorter one. Nylock. It's all connected. Just gotta tighten everything up. Just be really careful not to touch the other terminals with your wrench. Definitely not going anywhere. It's in there good. Negative cables there, big cable, cable. All right. Everything should be good. That should do the initial hookup. So yeah, that's how it looks. I just got to put the switch up there, button up some wires, and yeah, we should be good to go. All right, got everything buttoned up, all wire tied up. This could be a little cleaner, but I can button that up some more later. I still have to make some straps. I'll put my panel up here, and we're good to go. All the power looks good on the charge controller. Now these wires here for the switch, doesn't matter which one you put on which one. It's just an open and close switch. There goes that one. That one goes on. Alrighty. And then this just kind of goes up there like this. There we go. Should be open, closed. Open for the circle, and then if you want the heated batteries on, that's for the heated batteries. So, gotta clean that up a little bit more. We got a couple of these I gotta snip off. Other than that, we're good to go. Everything looks good on the charge controller. Everything looks good here. Seems to be cycling through. We're getting 13.5 volts to the battery. The battery's 100%. And I did change it over to lithium on this Ames Power. You basically have to hit this button here, hold it, and then comes your lithium. Then you can scroll through the different, cells, since I don't want to do that now, but there we go. We should be good to go. Oh, now it came up a volt. 0.6 amps. 4.14 kilowatts. 13.5 volts. It'll max out at 14.4. And I don't know how to change the centigrade to Fahrenheit. I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, it's looking good. It's set on lithium, and we should be good to go. All right, success. All right, everybody. All in all, I think it was a really successful upgrade. It was a little challenging. I was hoping that I could get to the back of the charge controller and unhook the wires coming in from the solar panel. I could not do that because they siliconed the wires, so you cannot even pull the charge controller out. I don't know what I'm going to have to do if I have to pull that out of there. It's going to have to be kind of just fudged out of there with, a screwdriver and just trying to push the wires through to try to get enough through so I can actually pull the controller out. because the wires are actually silicone going through the hole. I would have much preferred it to be foam, so I could just kind of dig the foam out, but silicone makes it extremely difficult to try to remove it. That being said, I just covered up the solar panels, as you saw, and was able to get the voltage to go to 0, and basically shut down the whole the shore power. I shut everything down, and then hooked up the batteries, and then once the batteries were all hooked up, I took the blankets off the solar panels, and then the power came through, and then I was able to set up the charge controller. So all in all, really good upgrade, hoping that we get more than one night's worth of power, because the lead acid batteries really only got one night's worth of power, and that just was not enough. We should be able to get a couple, 2 or 3, 4 nights possibly, if we're really conservative with the power, to run off-grid. All right, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and also if you'd like to see more videos, hit the little bell. All right, we'll hope to see you on the road.
Call it a day and celebrate.